something from nothing, wonder. I put some meat on these bars, hotter than one summer. I'm a little braggy, just keeping it one. I know you gotta know it's elite if I'm in the mix of. If I'm vibing, you probably don't mind getting to the lit stuff. Better stay out my lane when I got this thing rocking. Introduce to that dude, doing some name dropping. I feel I'm super uncool, I got no shame popping. And showing love to my grinders, getting this thing popping. This is the moment for you, I'm here to bring and shine. I'm your host and my name Troche, this is Between the Lines.
Okay. Now, what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Between the Lines, where life meets the lyrics. I'm your host, Troche. And we got a decent little topic today, but before we get into all that, Lady J, handle business.
All right. If this is your first time tuning into the show or to JQLM Radio and you would like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in, be sure to tell them to download the JQLM Radio app on their Android or Apple devices. You can also listen live on Alexa or stream a simple radio app, TuneIn app. You can listen live from our website, and we have a plethora of ways that you can tune in. So just go to our website right there. You can see all the different ways you can tune into JQLM Radio live 24/7. Also, make sure that you follow us on social media because we do follow back. Yes, we do. You can follow JQLM Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JQLM Radio. You can follow Ego Entertainment Network at EgoEntNet. That's EgoEntNet on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And follow us on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Network.
Appreciate you for doing that. Y'all don't even understand how much weight that is off my shoulders every week when she go ahead and lay it out there for me, because I don't be wanting to do it.
You're gonna do it one day. You're gonna do
it. No, I'm gonna do it one day. It's a lot though. You be freestyling, man. You be freestyling a lot.
I do.
It be different stuff you be saying every week that you won't say last week, but you want me to do it.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
Hold on. Don't act like it's a rookie up in here.
I mean, that's what you acting like right now.
Whatever, man. So how y'all feeling out there today, man? We're gonna go ahead and get into this young topic, man. And I want to talk about the new COVID rules. So y'all know, like in the beginning when I first started the show, I tackled the topic of COVID or whatever. And like y'all know, I went on board with it. And ain't nothing changed today. I'm still not on board with it, you know. But there's some new rules up in there that got me looking at it kind of even more sideways than I was before. So I don't know if y'all know, like I'm from Chicago. I live in Chicago. So they pushed real hard to get everybody vaccinated. I'm talking about, it's like the push is like stronger than ever. Then they said that if you get vaccinated, wearing your mask is optional. Now it's at the point where we don't care if you vaccinated or not. The mandate is for everybody to wear their mask at all times. What you just say? What you just say to me? So y'all push this hard for everybody to get vaccinated just so we won't have to wear masks, only for y'all to reverse it and say, we don't care if y'all vaccinated or not, put on that mask.
Are you actually keeping up with the latest?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So
I mean, I'm not in the medical field or nothing like that, but like common sense is common sense. But
so I have family members right now.
Say what you got to say.
I have family members right now, biological family members that are battling COVID. One person in their household tested positive, but has absolutely no symptoms, none. Meanwhile, the other ones who tested positive are suffering. And one of them has a different strain of COVID. So there are different strains of COVID now. And even if you are vaccinated, you can still get it. Usually the symptoms are not as severe if you have been vaccinated, just like if you're vaccinated for anything else. And I know somebody who now has gotten COVID twice. And the second time around, it was much worse. So It is very important to wear your mask, keep your distance. Yeah, I only mingle with those if you're close to people who have been vaccinated and know that they keep themselves safe and everything else. And really, I don't mingle with nobody because I stay in the house anyway, so it really don't matter.
Okay, and I'm glad you threw that out there. But we can also say that you're speaking from a point of view that's of higher risk.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, but
yeah, go ahead.
people that are, I am at higher risk. Yes, I also have another child, two children that are at very high risk. But the other ones my other family members who tested positive that are sick, only one of them is at a very high risk. Everybody's not. Everybody else is not. So, I mean, the point is you can have it and be walking around spreading it and don't even know it. And with the different strains, you don't know how it's going to affect people. It was just in the news. I think one of the police officers lost his life to COVID just last week.
And see, I want to make that clear, like just like I made it clear last time. I'm not like saying COVID not real, but like I'm saying that there's a lot of fluffing when it comes to COVID. There's a lot of misleading information when it comes to COVID. There's a lot of inconsistent information when it comes to COVID, which would make anybody question anything about it. Just like people question like anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying that you can't say that if I take this vaccine, then yeah, nah, I'm good. I don't got to wear this mask no more and all that type of stuff. And then you throw a big ass for 3 days, a big ass party where everybody in the city was almost there. Then the very next day after the party was over, say, nope, everybody put those masks back on. I don't care if you vaccinated or not.
And
period.
Again,
y'all got y'all, huh?
This is like life, right? It's trial and error. You throw a big party and then everybody gets sick, even though you got a mixture of people that are vaccinated and not vaccinated. So common sense will tell you, yeah, everybody needs to be wearing a mask. I mean, just because I said one thing yesterday, something happened to make me switch back and change my mind. I mean, it's common sense. I mean, really, it's like if there was a malaria breakout, you still gonna be hugging on people and stuff just because people was getting vaccinated. Meanwhile, you mingling with people that have been vaccinated and those that haven't, but yeah, everybody got sick. So I mean, it makes sense. This stuff is really not rocket science, And even if they did put a lot of fluff, at the very basic level, COVID has the exact same symptoms of a cold and a flu, but for a lot of people, the outcome can be death, and that's the reality of it. The reality is it's a virus that stays in your system for at least 14 days. You're sick for at least 14 days, and a lot of the symptoms worsen over the first week and a half. I mean, and like I said, it can lead to respiratory issues. You got people at respiratory failure, pneumonia in the lungs that just complicates things even more, and most of them people end up dying. So it makes more sense to try to protect everybody. So many people are worried about just themselves instead of understanding that you don't live in a society by yourself. You live in a society where other people are more susceptible to more dire outcomes. So you need to be worried about the people that you're around too. And the vaccine, no vaccine, any vaccine that you take is not meant to keep you from getting something. That's not what vaccines are for. Vaccines are used to lessen the severity of a disease or illness. People, that's another thing that people need to stop telling everybody. Think, I got the vaccine, so now I can't get it. That's not what vaccines do. If you got the flu vaccine, you can still get the flu. You just won't your symptoms won't be as severe. Usually, it's the same thing with COVID. It's not rocket science, people.
I want to agree with what you're saying, but I totally disagree with everything you're saying. I mean, I hear your argument and I respect it, but at the same time, if it's that serious, or if it was already fixed issue, then okay, the big ass party was good for 3 days, but it wasn't a fixed issue when you had the party.
Yeah, but so who said it was a fixed issue?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're saying that like, oh, everything comes with trial and error or whatever like that. You make an experiment and oh, if it don't work, then yeah, now we see it don't work. But the thing was never over. The variable was never over. It was still there. So why have the party? And now we at the point where,
what does that have to do with the facts? The facts are still
what?
That COVID. What does that have to do with the facts? The facts
Because there are facts to this. What are you talking about? Facts?
What are no facts?
What do you mean facts? What are the numbers? Are you telling me the numbers are facts? The numbers aren't facts. The numbers are lies.
Okay, here's the thing. Everybody that has been diagnosed with COVID may not have COVID, but thousands of people have COVID. And again, firsthand, one of my children had COVID, and people in my family, people that are close to me, have COVID. So that's the illness or disease, virus, whatever itself, is an absolute fact. The symptoms that it carries is an absolute fact. The fact that you can have it and have no symptoms, that's an absolute fact. This is not an opinion. It's not something that you can debate. That's absolute 100% fact. You can be vaccinated and still get the virus. That's an absolute fact.
Okay. And I know you're speaking from a person of experience with it, so you got a different take than what I'm gonna have. But yeah, Tiffany Rochelle said, I used to work in the pharma industry, and it takes 2 years minimum for a vaccine to even go through trials and to work out the kinks. They're using people as experiments, which they are.
I agree, but just like any other vaccine, you have to have people to go through those trials. And so the people who chose to take the vaccine, guess what? They're a part of those trials, and that's just it. So regardless of whether or not you experienced it firsthand or not, it still don't negate the fact, just because you don't agree with it or you have your opinion, that still don't mean that the virus don't exist. It still doesn't mean that people out here sick with the virus, and it still don't mean that you can't get it and vaccinated people can get it. It still doesn't mean that keeping a mask on and washing your hands and stuff don't lessen your chances of getting it and keeping your distance. That all of those are 100% facts. They have been proven. It has been proven. One school in the city of Indianapolis here that I know of, Vanguard Collegiate, shout out to y'all. They had 0 COVID cases. You want to know why? Because all the other schools open, they never opened. When they did open, everybody had to wear masks, no matter if they was vaccinated or not. They haven't had not one case over the whole pandemic. Not one.
Okay. And let's just be mindful of, when I first started, I preempted my whole argument with, I'm not saying it's fake, period. I started like that. So don't say I'm saying that, because that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is the NBA also had 0 cases in the bubble. I mean, so what's your argument there? We're not talking about a bubble, because if it was that serious and it's going to be that serious again, we seen the mistake we made the first time. So why not shut the stuff down now?
But what was it? The NFL or somebody? They got sick because they was.
The NFL didn't have no bubble.
Okay, but what I'm saying is NBA took extra precautions. And not only did they have to be tested and, you know what I'm saying, wear a mask and all that stuff while they was testing, had to go through or whatever, all of their practice, protocols that they went through and all that kind of stuff. They took extra precautions. That's why. If it wasn't fact, if all of those things weren't fact, they wouldn't have went through all that.
I mean, you can't even say that.
That proves.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that because it didn't happen. So you can't just say, "Oh, if they wouldn't have did all that, nobody would have." I mean, everybody would have. No, you can't say that at all. Hey, we don't know. We don't know that.
If you compare this to the NFL, you're proving my point. They took the extra precautions, just like Vanguard Collegiate. You're proving my point. When you don't follow those rules, those COVID rules, then your outcome will be exactly what happened with the NFL, exactly what happened to other schools, exactly what happened to the nurses and doctors. They don't really have choices. They have to treat these people that have COVID and stuff like that. But when you don't follow those rules, then that's your outcome. Just like the party in Chicago when the COVID first started. And y'all's mayor had to or governor.
The mayor.
Was it the mayor? Yeah. Okay. The mayor had to shut the city down because you got all these young kids out here, having parties in the middle of COVID. Meanwhile, the very next day, hundreds sick. Now, how dumb was that?
You just proving my point right now. I don't even understand your argument right now. I don't understand the angle you're coming from to your argument.
You proved my point.
No, I didn't. I'm telling you that was dumb. I started by saying that was dumb. Like, you can't have a party and then shut everything down when you already had forewarning that this is gonna happen if you have this party. So it's bigger than whatever they trying to make COVID to be. To me, in my eyes, it's a money grab.
Okay, what's not making sense to me is you keep talking about what they can't do when they already had a party. Why can't they? That doesn't make sense. So you're going to continue to have parties and when you know that it's not safe to have parties. That don't make sense. So if they can't then backtrack on what they said, then what should they do? Make sense. You said that you can't have a party and then turn around and say you can't have a party and say nobody has to wear a mask, and then backtrack on that and say, well, now you have to wear. Why can't they?
Because you already had the party and you knew what was going to happen when you had the party. Your thing was to get the money and then shut the city back down when you could have just foregone the money part and not gave not talking about, since we had all these people up in here together for 3 days in a row, the cases are going up. Why did you throw it?
Okay, but still, to say that they can't then backtrack, I'm not understanding. That don't make sense. Why wouldn't they backtrack?
Because it was a premeditated backtrack.
It doesn't matter if it was premeditated or not. They can still backtrack. That's what I'm not understanding. They can still backtrack. I don't think you understanding the angle that I'm coming from.
I'm telling you that the rules don't make sense no more. The rules never made sense to me, but now they're really not making sense because it looks like something else at this point. It looks like a money grab at this point. Like, the pandemic was never over when you decided to throw the party. Y'all just had a lot of cases a lot of instances where a lot more people were vaccinated. But I don't think those were the people that was at the party, and y'all didn't test to throw Lollapalooza. Y'all didn't test. Y'all didn't check nobody to get in there. But y'all got all that money for them 3 days. And then y'all gonna say,
people who broke the rules and to bend it to their benefit. But still, it still doesn't negate the facts of COVID. Is what I'm saying. Regardless of what the rules are, COVID rules are the COVID rules. Period. And rules are meant to be broken. And guess what they did? They just broke them for their own benefit. That's it. That's the bottom line to it.
Are you talking about the people that went to the concert or the people that allowed the concert to be thrown? What you talking about?
The people that allowed it and the people who came to the concert, they were stupid enough to go along with the broken rules. That's their fault. If you sick, that's your bad because you knew what the COVID rules were when you went. And if your dumb fault, if your dumb self went along with it, then that's your fault. That's just like you coming to me and being like, hey, Jacque, let's go rob this bank real quick. I promise you, it's gonna take us 5 minutes. We're gonna be in and out. We're not gonna get caught. And now I know that the law or the rule is you don't go rob no bank because 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be a silent alarm and we're gonna get caught and I'm going to jail. Now, if my dumb self decides to believe you and go along with it, then and I get locked up and caught, then guess whose fault is that? Mine. That's it. That's mine. It's my fault.
I hear you. I'm just saying. Make it make sense. Somebody make it make sense. Like, I got all these friends in the medical field, and I'll be urging people to come make it make sense to me. But nobody ever show up because they can't make it make sense. They can make, even with everything you just said in defense of it, it still don't make sense. And I'm not trying to take nothing from like personal experiences in your life where people had caught COVID or whatever. I'm just saying, like, these inconsistencies in these rules make it hard to trust what the rules are.
What inconsistent?
Or why the rules are in play.
My thing is, there's nothing inconsistent about the rules as far as wearing a mask and keeping your 6 foot distance and washing your hands. That's been consistent from day one. So I'm not understanding what you're talking about inconsistency, because the only thing that has changed is if you have been vaccinated, then it's your option to not wear a mask when the mask mandate was lifted. Now some places And it was even lifted for some for businesses. It was up to them as to whether or not their customers had to wear a mask or not. It's because it's their place of business. But the mandate period across the entire country was lifted. That's the only inconsistency. So when you talk about inconsistency, I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about, because it's always been that you have to wear a mask. It's always been that you have to wash your hands. It's always been you have to keep 6 foot distance. It's always been you have to keep your area clean. So I'm understanding what's inconsistent outside of the vaccine coming into play and you having the option to wear a mask or not. And now, whether you're vaccinated or not, now you have to wear a mask. Okay, they changed their mind. Just like in the beginning, they had to figure out what the vaccine was, what was the risk and all that, which is how they came up with the rules to begin with.
So you tell me what they figured out about it then. Since you say in the beginning, they had to come up with what it really was and how to deal with it. Tell me what they came up with.
Once I just told you what the rules have been consistently. Once they figured out that if you're vaccinated, you can still get it. Once they figured out that once you have COVID, you can get it again. Then yeah, maybe you should still wear your mask. So yeah, let's switch that back real quick.
But the strength was in if you get vaccinated. The strength was in get vaccinated. Like just that with 4 or 5 exclamation points that they get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Now it's like, oops, damn, you can still die if you get vaccinated. Like, cause it's still people dying that have been vaccinated. So yep. Why was you pushing me to get vaccinated?
But okay, because
why can't I get back to my regular life after I'm vaccinated? If you said that's what was gonna lead me back to my regular life, you put me back in the same boat with all the people that didn't get vaccinated.
Who said that was going to cure COVID? Nobody said that.
I never said cure. I said get me back to my regular life.
What you just said though, this is an outbreak. Outbreaks don't go away overnight. This is my problem with society, because everybody want everything to happen quick. It don't happen that way. First of all, they had to come up with something fast enough to at least help curve the numbers. So people who like me who are high risk getting vaccinated is absolute plus for me, because if I end up in the hospital, then guess what? I'm at risk for another major stroke or a brain aneurysm or whatever the case may be. My son, who was ill, was extremely sick. He has chronic asthma. So getting vaccinated will lessen the severity of my symptoms. That works for me. But everybody's immune system is different. So I would rather be vaccinated, and I would rather be vaccinated than not be vaccinated and be subject to 100% of, because I don't know how it would go, is what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Hey, hold that thought. We're going to get right back into it. We're going to play some music for y'all real quick, and we coming right back to get up in this topic because she thinks she's winning, and I'm finna blow her out.
This ain't about winning. It's about facts.
Just play that music.
Missing meals trying to get $1 million. Bills got me trying to get $1 billion. Kept it real, I deserve $1 trillion. Yeah.
Only for gun, I'll go above and beyond for this.
Missing meals trying to get $1 million. Bills got me trying to get $1 billion. Kept it real, I deserve $1 trillion. Yeah. Look, I just put some money on my dog books. I'm talking about the one the law took, free little Billy. And I'm the one that call a crook, call it what you wanna, I'ma call it shook, beat the eye. Most of us ain't even supposed to be alive. Is you dreaming or you scheming? You can't tread between them lines. Make a wish, I just made a plan that's gonna make us rich, make them switch. That's what money do, and they don't make no sense. All these bills got me trying to get $1 billion. Leon, you ain't a real one, you a real peon. Missing meals cause I'm chasing after meal. Leon's only begun, I'll go above and beyond for this. Missing meals trying to get $1 million. Bills got me trying to get $1 billion. Kept it real, I deserve $1 trillion. Yeah.
Good, I'll go above and beyond for this.
Missing meals trying to get $1 million. Bills got me trying to get $1 billion. Kept it real, I deserve $1 trillion. Yeah. I wish You go hard for the freaks. Sorry, I can't relate. They go harder for me. Put my heart on the beat. I went hard in the streets. We don't celebrate the struggle, so no parties for me. I'd rather run up a sack. Sun up and I'm up with that. I'm talking Section 8 housing. Not many come up from that. They say I'm solid and humble. I came in the game raw with no plan B. Like where I start. I kept the city alive with a beat. Guess I'm the heart. Okay. They rock with you when it's beneficial. If you don't feel them, they get sentimental. But I ain't stunting how you feeling, boy. For all I know, it's always been an issue with you. Baby say she wants some red. Baby say she wants some red bottoms. But she get mad when I sting. She try to tell me I don't care about her. What? I only care about the cream. I'm thinking like it's $900 for some Louboutins. So I don't get why you get mad when I go out and grind. I got a long text. She say we ain't spending time. But baby, you ain't spend no money. I've been spending mine. They ride with you when it's beneficial. Yeah. They support you when it's beneficial. They gon' be there when it's beneficial. Yeah. Crazy part, I always beneficial. They ride with you. They gon' be there. They gon' love you when it's beneficial. They support you. They adore you. They do anything for you when it's beneficial. I'm thinking one time, fool me once. 2 times, fool me twice. 3 times, you played yourself. There won't be a 4th time, baby. We through for life. I'm thinking one time, you fooled me once. 2 times, you fooled me twice. 3 times, you played yourself. There won't be a 4th time, sucker. We came in the game raw with no plan B, just me. But I was thumping like a stampede with 2 feet, thinking maybe I win a Grammy. We'll see. I ain't no killer, but I can be. Feel free to pull up on me at the right time. I'll be throughout the city, jumping like I'm Mike Khan. You the type to sit and wait until the right time. Look up and realize you've been waiting for a lifetime. Your hunger ain't like mine. Okay. Shout out to man, he just made it to the NFL. Let that be motivation for you. Don't be scared to fail. They gon' rock with you when
You was thinking I'm crazy. You walk away when it feels so good. So when I consider your ways, yeah. Now we don't let up with nothing. You said you will always be there. Now you have me for the rest of my life. Well, I guess my life is over now. I finally found the strength to give you what you wanted. What you wanted. What you wanted. Yeah. I gave it to you. What you wanted. Yeah. What you wanted. I gave it to you. What you wanted. Messing me up when I think about what we forfeit. And it tears me apart because you're the one that I wanted. But it taught me some things, so I added a wife to my prayer list. Don't you be mad at me when God finally takes it off of my checklist. I wanted a woman that simply wanted to be wanted. It's that too much to ask. It's time for women that will help me secure a future instead of dwelling on the past. It breaks my heart to know that we are apart. And I know that
If you are an entrepreneur, podcaster, radio host, cinematographer, or photographer and are in need of a space to work, the Ego Center is for you. A fully equipped radio podcast studio for If you are an entrepreneur, podcaster, radio host, cinematographer, or photographer and are in need of a space to work, the Ego Center is for you. A fully equipped radio podcast studio, photography and film studio, workstation, and small conference area are available for booking. Visit egoentertainmentnet.com to take a virtual tour, book, or join a membership program today.
KA Connection presents First Sunday Fun Day Different Shades of Pink Soul Review. This event is going down Sunday, October 3rd, 2021 at Eddie's at the Fort, located at 9105 East 56th Street in Indianapolis, Indiana at 4 o'clock p.m. Featuring Marcus Canty, The Girl Called Books, and Salmoetry. Purchase tickets now at eventbrite.com or call 463-701-5772. A portion of the proceeds will go to cancer research. For more information, visit kaconnections.net. Don't miss it.
They go up. And I got one friend, she brings containers. I don't know who he is. He just sat down at the table. He said, yeah, right. Yeah, right. That's the light.
What's up, y'all? We back. And if you just now tuning into the show, we talking about the new COVID rules because, like I said, I live here in Chicago, where the rules got a little they got a little shifted, you know. And I really ain't digging it. Because I feel like at this point they're just playing with us. Because we seen what happened the first time around, but now they're being cautious the second time around, but they still haven't did the one thing that you could do if it's what you say it is. The one thing you could do is shut it down. Shut it down for a month. Because what you say, symptoms last 14 days. Okay. Shut it down for a month. Leave everybody in the crib for a month. I don't think nobody would complain if when we come up out of this, life is back to normal. But I mean, you still got the pennies and stuff that's on the table that everybody trying to grab them little coins and everything. When the risk of trying to grab the coins is greater than just shutting it down and getting the coins back after 30 days. That's all I'm saying. And before we went to break, you know, Lady J was, she was feisty with us. Like, no, Troche. She was doing all that and all that. But, you know, hey, I respect everybody's decision because this is, well, it's supposed to be everybody's decision. It's your choice. It's supposed to be your choice. But somehow, when you get to talking about this subject, then everybody seems to try to shame you into making the decision, into you making what decision you made, no matter what side of it that you on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that at all. The main thing should be about saving lives and getting back to normal life. That's what it should be about.
I mean, your choice is your choice, but for the same people who have your views, some of them same people will be crying after they get COVID. Or they mama or daddy got COVID and they on the ventilator. Don't cry now. Remember, that was your choice. You chose to still be out here without no mask. You chose to be out here because you wanted to be so quick to get back to life as usual. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to chalk it up, just like anything else. It's here now. Ain't nothing you can do about it. So do what you need to do in order to curb the number so we can get back to normal. But the more that everybody wants to go against the rules, the more that everybody wants to have this mindset that they just playing, it's not that serious, they like all this other kind of stuff, then go ahead, keep going, keep it up and stop complaining. But
it's not that simple though. Like, you make it sound like it's that simple.
But
like, because It's not because it's people with the vaccine that still got COVID, just like it's people that never got COVID, don't got the vaccine or nothing, and they're fine. Like you can't just call it off like or whatever the few things you know.
No. What I'm saying is everybody's immune system is different. There are people who don't have the vaccine that have COVID. Again, nobody said the vaccine was going to cure COVID. Nobody said that if you get the vaccine, you're not going to get COVID. I don't know where y'all get this from. Nobody said that if you get COVID.
No, nobody said that's the argument at all.
Right, but you.
But the push. No, the push is the. What I'm saying is the push is. Go ahead. What you say?
I said, what I'm saying is there are cases, though, just like the NBA, just like Vanguard Collegiate and other places that followed the rules to a T and did not see not one COVID case. That is proof right there. But the more you have more people out here debating the actual facts of the disease, debating on whether or not they should be able to wear a mask, or if it should be their choice whether they should have to wear a mask or not, it don't matter if you walking around and don't have COVID or you don't have no symptoms. Because again, you can be walking around, ain't never been tested and have the symptoms, and you passing it to everybody else. So you can't have it both ways. If you want to not wear a mask, if you don't want to follow rules, that's your choice. But you don't then get to turn around and start whining and crying about the rules or wanting to get back to your regular life. But right now, life ain't regular, and as long as you have people with that mindset, it ain't never gonna get back to regular, because you can't have that mindset in the middle of an outbreak. It's an outbreak.
Yes, you can, because you can question everything that's not truth. And we know we live in the United States where they lie to us all the time. So don't give me don't give me you can't say this and that, because you need to believe whatever they told you to believe and then live your life according to what they said, because we already know they don't got they don't have our best interests at heart, because if they did, this will already be shut down again.
That's not what I said. What I said was, if you choose not to follow the rules, if you choose not to get vaccinated, if you choose not to wear a mask, you can't then also be whining and crying about not getting back to regular life. Because the fact still remains, there are people with COVID that are still dying. There are kids with COVID that died too. You can't have it both ways. It's a middle of an outbreak. That is fact, 100% fact. If
also,
you don't the rules, then that's on you.
Also, there are people with the vaccine that have died also. So what's your point?
Exactly. But you're advocating for those who don't have the vaccine. So bump that.
I'm not advocating for anybody. I'm just saying, I'm talking about the rules. I'm questioning the rules. I'm not advocating for you to get it or you not to get it. I said my personal preference is that I'm not getting it.
But the rules have always been the same. Wear a mask, wash your hands, keep your distance. I mean, that hasn't changed. Since those rules, that has been consistent.
Do they work?
Start.
Do they work? So you telling me that the numbers aren't up, even though most of these people that they're counting in these numbers are vaccinated?
I just gave you proof. You just gave yourself proof when you brought up the NBA. I just gave you proof when I brought up Vanguard Collegiate. Those are the only two cases. I could probably do a little bit more research, find more, where they followed the rules to a T. Nowhere in the United States do I know, outside of small groups like that, have they ever followed those rules to the T. It will absolutely work. It's been proven through those little small groups. If everybody went out here and wore a mask, kept their distance, they hands to themselves, wasn't getting together in large groups, I guarantee you that.
Don't guarantee, because that's a lie. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Again, you don't want to put that kind of pressure on you. Don't guarantee.
Again, I can guarantee.
You're dealing with a lying government, but you're going to guarantee something like that? Something that you didn't create. You didn't create yourself, these rules, but you're going to guarantee for somebody else.
Bump the government. You're not listening. You're not.
I am listening to you. You're talking about some rules that you didn't create.
I said it don't matter if I created them or not. If they say wear your mask and wash your hands and keep your distance, and you have a small group of people in two totally different parts of the country that did those exact things to a T, and they never had a COVID case, that's proof. Now, if you can get everybody on that same page, then yes, I promise you those numbers will probably go down. Just like they did when they shut the country down. If they had not shut the country down, I guarantee you those numbers would have continued to go up. But you got hard-headed people out here that want to do what they want to do. And that's fine. But you cannot do that and decide, well, I'm not going to follow the rules, or because I think y'all lying. You ain't even tried to follow the rules because you ain't been against it since day one. I'm talking about you personally. I'm talking about people, period. So but how would you know?
You just made my whole argument. You just said when they shut the country down the first time, when the numbers were going up like they're doing now, So why is nobody shutting it down? Because it's a damn money grab still. It's still some money that they're trying to get before they shut it down, which is why this damn the schools are back. But kids are getting COVID in school. But you know why they ain't shut school back down yet? Because they didn't get the budgets yet. I guarantee you, as soon as they get the budget, schools will be shut back down. I guarantee you.
I know that, but what I'm saying is, you keep talking about the government. The government don't control whether or not you leave your house outside of your everyday living. If you choose to continue to go outside, during the pandemic, there were so many people still out and about, meeting up, all this kind of stuff. You keep trying to blame the government. We as people are hard-headed as hell. We want to do what we want to do. Can't nobody tell me what to do and all this kind of stuff. Okay, don't cry. But then, hold on, I know 3 people who had this same mindset and then turned around and got COVID. Oh, you ain't crying now? Oh, you ain't worried about the rules? Oh, now you want to wear your mask. Now you want to wash your hands. Now you want to keep your distance. Now you want to not go out and be in large groups. Okay, no, you can't have it both ways. Pick one and stay there. Stick with it.
And I really feel like I really got to keep repeating this because I don't think you hearing me. Like, I never said COVID was phony or the seriousness of COVID is not a real thing. What I said was, I started my whole argument by saying, I'm not saying COVID is fake. I'm telling you that the rules are changing. Like, if what y'all said what the rules were, like, y'all switching it up. Danny Coulter said LeBron broke the rules during the playoffs and attended the big function. And a couple days later, he played in the playoffs. Rules were broken, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't the only player to do that. I mean, hey, like, all I'm saying is there are inconsistencies and there are one-offs to this whole situation. Period. Just like you said, like, I know 3 people that complained about it or whatever, had the same mindset you got, and they all caught COVID, and now they think different. I don't. What mindset is it that you think I have? Because I thought I made myself very clear with my standpoint in the beginning. What is this mindset that you're talking about? I'm just talking about the fact that they push for everybody to get vaccinated. Now all these people got vaccinated, and now you're saying that whether you're vaccinated or not, put that damn mask back on. So now you don't put a fucking,
and what's your point to that?
Because now that you done put a new thing in my body that didn't need to be there, because y'all did not prove to me 100% that this is gonna work you didn't tell me that, if you get this is gonna work. Y'all put a new substance in my body. Now, just because this is what y'all think, and my biggest thing with this now, and I apologize for the swear with the language. Hey, I'm up there with this. When it comes to this COVID thing, man, I'm just so up there with this, man. Like, I think my biggest thing with it now is that your job is on the line now for some companies. And people's argument against that is that, you've had to get vaccinated your whole time when you went to school. Like, you got all them vaccines and them shots right. But
yep.
I hear that part. But what I'm saying is, since when has it been a mandate for you to work, for you to keep your job? That's where it gets fishy to me.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that you're not considering. There are so many factors to this. If I have the ability to die from COVID and all you do is get sick, that's why. Because then I can't discriminate against somebody. Well, you know what? You can't work here because you're too high risk, and because you don't want to be, vaccinated, or because you have such a huge mixture of people in your company. It's safer if everybody is vaccinated versus letting people choose. Because that's just like if you have let's just say it wasn't illegal to spread AIDS or whatever. If I have AIDS or HIV and all I had to do was cough on you, that's an epidemic. That's a major illness that has the ability to kill you. It doesn't make sense when you have something that you know is deadly to then give people the option, if you're a business owner, to not keep your employees safe.
That don't make sense. Here's the thing: people are pushing back so much, and like you said, when you're in school, you gotta take vaccinations. And here's the thing: I want to know how come people ain't so upset about flu shots. Okay, when it comes to flu shots, nobody said that was gonna cure you, keep you from getting the flu, but people were still getting them. So why is it such a big deal if they telling you to get vaccinated for COVID when COVID is much worse than the flu and it's a freaking outbreak? I mean, I'm not understanding. We got people dying left and right. I mean,
what I'm saying is it's the same choice. It's the same choice. The people that are choosing to get the flu vaccine are the same ones that choosing to get COVID vaccine, period. That's what I'm saying. Like, people who don't believe in the vaccines or don't think vaccines like help, they are the same people that's not getting it now. But what I'm saying is, how can you tell me you don't even know if the vaccine is gonna kill me, but you telling me that it's less risk of you taking a vaccine and dying from the vaccine than you getting COVID and killing somebody? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, which one is more important? This vaccine could kill me, because they're not saying that, if you're allergic to the vaccine. They ain't saying none of that. Maybe somebody body can't take the vaccine.
Okay, but you don't know that unless
you don't know none of this stuff.
Hold on, the stuff that you hold on. But still, if you go to the hospital, ER, and they give you some medicine that you have an allergic reaction to, but you was never allergic to it before, how the frick are they supposed to know? They just treating you. It's the same thing. When I was up until the point that I was pregnant with my third kid, I was never allergic to anything. But then as soon as I started having complications, they gave me penicillin, and I immediately had a major allergic reaction. So all of this stuff that you saying, there's a rebuttal for it.
You arguing my same point.
No, I'm not. No, but I'm saying that's the exact same thing. If you
just said they gave you allergies.
No, that's not what I said.
You said after they gave you penicillin, now you started being allergic.
Oh, listen to I took penicillin all my life for antibiotics. I never was allergic to penicillin. Something inside of my body changed that caused me to be allergic to penicillin once I had my third child. Once I was pregnant with my third child. You don't know how your body is going to react, but what they do is they take a look at, what are the components of this virus, and try to what do they call it? Try to take out those antibodies or whatever the case may be. But you're not going to know if you're allergic or not unless you answer those questions that they ask or whatever before you get it. Are you allergic to anything, stuff like that, so they know if that medicine is going to, they know what's in it, so they know if it's going to interact with any other meds that you take or any other vaccines that you have gotten and things of that sort. So they go through all those questions with you just like they do any other time you go to the doctor. I don't understand why people are making it such a big deal. It's a vaccination, hell, just like any other vaccination that you get.
Well, all I'm saying is that, like, a vaccine could kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, but you're telling me that we need to protect the people that are higher risk of vaccination. But what if me taking this vaccination can kill me to protect that person who is of high risk? That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying forget the people that's of high risk. I'm just saying that, like, everybody's body is different. That's all I'm saying. So don't force me to do something that I don't think is good for my body.
But who said forcing you? Y'all people that don't want to get vaccinated are mad because they can't get certain jobs. Okay, then you have to get a job that don't require the vaccination. That's on you. These people, this is their company. That's their business. They have the right to take whatever precautions and steps they feel is necessary to protect their company and their employees. If you don't like it, then move on to something else, or start your own business. Period.
I agree with that. When the crime rate goes up, because they pushed all these people out the door because they decided not to take the vaccine, then we're gonna see. Now it's gonna be a whole nother different thing. When that same person who mandated that for jobs, when you get knocked over the head and somebody steal your wallet and all that type of stuff, because the crime rate is gonna go up if people can't work. It's almost a guarantee. It's almost a guarantee.
And again, either you take the vaccinate if you really want to work, if you really want to get a job at that company.
That should not be the case.
You don't own that company though.
Should not be. That's like you telling me, like, if you really want to work at this company, get this chip implanted in your body. Come on, bro. No, that's not the case.
If you really wanted to work at a job that requires you to be drug tested, guess what? You're gonna have to get drug tested. But no, some people like, you know what? I still want to smoke my weed. Okay, well, guess what? You can't work here, so you can't then cry about it. If you don't want to take the vaccine, then start your own company. Period.
Hey,
You can't. This is the thing that irritates me about people who wanna complain about what the stipulations are when it comes to stuff like that. You can't say, okay, I don't want this vaccine, I don't want it in my body, but I want this job, or I want to work for this company. You don't get both ways. That's not the company rules. The company rules are you have to be vaccinated to work at this company. So you can't then cry about it. If you want to work at that company that bad, then get the freaking vaccine. If you don't, then move on.
I feel you when it comes to stuff like that. It is their company and it is their rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, but I do like what Michelle Jackson just said. If you don't take the vaccine, then you're obligated to take weekly COVID tests. Like I said, it's a way around it. It's a way around it than just forcing my hand to do something that I don't want to do. Make me test every week then.
Some companies do that, but what I'm saying is, if they don't put no gun to your head, ain't nobody forcing you that. It ain't their fault you want to work at the company but don't want the vaccine. That's your own personal choice, and it's their own personal choice for their company to either let you in or not. If you don't meet those criteria, if you don't meet the criteria, then you don't meet the criteria. That's it. Whether you like it or not, oh well, you don't own it.
Hey, listen, I'm not against you. I'm not against you. Hey, like I said, I have my stance. You have yours. They seem to be different, and we just gonna agree to disagree on this one, because this gonna be one of those things where people agree to disagree for forever, probably. Like I don't trust it. I probably never will.
And have you heard of anybody dying from just the vaccine, getting the vaccine? Are there any cases where somebody got the vaccine and now they're dead?
What do you mean? Like just after he got that vaccine, he passed out? But that's not no. Listen. If you, like I'm saying, if just like they used to say everybody was dying from COVID, even if you went in there with a gunshot wound, don't try to tell me that it's not the same thing when you die from, like, after the vaccine. Of course, you're gonna say it was something else. They're going to say this person's body didn't take to the vaccine because these things didn't mix. It's always some extra fluff to it.
Okay, I'm just asking, have you heard of any cases where somebody has actually died? The vaccine was the cause of their death.
They really think they're going to tell us that, Lady J? Come on, man. Like, stop this, man. Stop this. Do you really think they're going to tell us that?
Hey, now,
like, he got the vaccine and just passed out. Soon we took the needle out.
You are passing out and dying is two totally different things.
No, I'm talking about passed out, mean dying. I mean, he just died. Soon we put a needle out his arm. Do you think they're gonna really go on the news and say, yeah, our vaccine just killed 2 people instantly?
No, nobody said. Okay,
There are so many clinics across the country that are giving vaccines, and there are many whistleblowers in the medical field. So many people. Matter of fact, the governor of New York was definitely one of them, which is why a lot of people didn't like his approach. So here's my thing: you keep talking as if the government has control over all of that. No, they don't. They don't. If there's a health clinic or health professional that gave out vaccines, or they're noticing some changes, or that somebody has developed some symptoms that are deadly or fatal, you don't think that that's going to get leaked like everything else does? They might not be honest about the numbers of people that are dying, but I'm just asking: are there any cases that you personally know of where people have died from the vaccine?
No, I'm a small on the totem pole compared to what this virus is. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. Why would I be privy to this information?
Well, I mean, I'm asking. Maybe you did your research and stuff before the show. That's why I'm asking.
You said that I know anybody personally.
No, I said you personally. Do you know any cases of people that have died from the vaccine? Is what I'm asking.
I mean, no, not me personally, but I mean, somebody in the comments just said 2 people died after they scrolled down. I'm gonna go back up.
What's the vaccine? The actual cause of death is what.
That's what I'm saying, dude. You keep on changing up now you changing the question.
No, that was my original question.
How would we know that? Like, how would we know that? Oh. Man, as soon as my friend took the vaccine, she died. Like, come on, how will we know that, Lady Jake? Let's stop asking crazy questions, man.
That's not crazy. If you
get an
autopsy Again, I just said everything gets leaked. Everything gets leaked. How do you think we know a lot of things that we know? Everything gets leaked. So if you did your research, or if somebody that you know knows people that have died from the vaccine, or they know of cases that have, and it ain't got to be just here in the United States, because COVID was worldwide. I mean, just about. So I mean, it could be they definitely reporting on that stuff. So I'm asking, basically, did you do research to see who the vaccines affected in that way? I mean, because we already know that Johnson & Johnson. First of all, listen, Johnson & Johnson couldn't even get powder right. Ain't no way I was taking their vaccine. Okay, let's just put that out there. So they had a lot of side effects, and then the Moderna had a lot of side effects. Pfizer's the only real pharmaceutical company, okay, that was also in on developing the vaccine. So that's the vaccine that I personally got, and that's the vaccine that a lot of people that I know, and a lot of people that were on the news and all the kind of stuff that said they got. So I'm asking, from those three companies or any of the vaccines, I want to know where I can find any. I don't care if it's one or two cases, or if there can any facts in writing that show that, hey, after this person took the vaccine, they died. And I mean, did they have any underlying issues? Did they have COVID already, or whatever the case may be? Just like you do research on anything else.
I don't know how you think that somebody's gonna know that if the vaccine is what they're pushing, why would they say that somebody died after taking the vaccine? It makes no sense.
You keep saying they, and I just told you there are whistleblowers everywhere.
Ain't no whistleblowers came out. Because this is one of the biggest things that had happened in 20 years. This is one of the biggest things that happened in 20 years. So ain't no whistleblowers finna even stand a chance. If something like that happened, they ain't here because they died of COVID. Because they died of COVID. All right. You think it's a game. You think it's a game.
Oh, Troche.
And I don't mean to chuckle about it. I'm just laughing because you laughing. But hey, it's real.
I'm just saying. Now, I mean, we know that hell, I mean, there are some things that have been consistent in the healthcare industry since the beginning of time. Pad numbers, we already know that. But I'm just talking about looking at facts when it comes to this COVID thing. Bump the pad numbers, bump all that extra fluff stuff. I'm just talking about, it's like I said, as far as the basic rules, that has never changed. The basic facts about the actual virus itself, it's a virus. You can get past, through a cough, touch, all of that. How long it stays on something, how long it stays, all of those things are facts. The fact that it can be deadly for some and not for others. The fact that you can still get it if you get vaccinated. The fact that you can get it twice. All of that stuff is fact. Now, whether or not you get the vaccine or not is totally up to you. But what I'm saying is, if you're not going to get the vaccine, if you're not going to wear your mask, if you're going to continuously hooking up with people in large numbers, not caring whether they got vaccinated or not taking temperatures, not getting tested, all that kind of stuff, you can't then complain about not being able to get back to normal life, because you are contributing to not trying to keep everybody safe in order to try to curb the numbers. Nobody said you have to get the vaccine, but at minimum, wear a mask. Hell, wash your hands. Keep your distance. And that's stuff.
Hey, you saying that, but what I'm saying is if the powers that be don't find a problem with throwing big ass parties and stuff like that, and then no, they didn't do none of that at the big party. The powers that be, the people that make the rules.
And what was the outcome?
So what? I mean, what? Not me personally, but I'm just saying, like, people don't think like me. So that's all I'm saying.
What I'm saying is, we already know that the government sets up a lot of things. They do.
But you're arguing for something that they set up. You're arguing in its defense.
What I'm saying. No, I'm not arguing. I'm talking about COVID itself.
They set it up.
That's why I say forget the government, because at the end of the day, you make the choices to whether or not you get the vaccine. You make the choice whether or not you walk out of this house and put on a mask. That's your choice. The government got nothing to do with that. They make the rules. Yeah, they made the rules. They told you what it was. They told you what you needed to do to curb it. Whether you follow those rules or not is on you. That's nothing too. Too many people. What I don't like is society itself likes to pass the blame on on the government and everybody else but themselves. You had your tail out there following what you saw because you decided that, well, they doing it, so I'm gonna do it too. You dumb.
So you're gonna be in the house forever because there are people out here with no discipline. You're gonna stay in the house forever when the decision could just be made just like it was made the first time. Just it could be a little stricter this time, just so we could get back to regular life. But you'd rather just be in the house forever and call everybody else dumb.
Nobody said you had to be in the house forever. I said,
what do you think will happen if we never get over this?
I said, when you leave the house, if you choose not to follow the rules to try to curb the numbers, you can then complain. At the end of the day, I want to know, do people really know what a freaking outbreak is? Because if you knew what a real outbreak was, then all this pushback as far as the basic rules, wearing a mask, washing your hands, stuff, that is, I mean, hell, you should have been doing that outside of wearing a mask. You should have been doing that already every day. Because let's just be honest, people are trifling. People go into public restrooms and stuff and will not wash their hands when they leave and come right back and sit at a restaurant table and be touching all on the stuff. People are nasty. So now all of a sudden, there had to be an outbreak for people to just do basic stuff like wash your hands.
You want to get really real with this? Really real with this? If everybody didn't think like that, as far as people are effing nasty and they should always be sanitized and all that, then people wouldn't be so weak right now. Like, if we want to get really real, hand sanitizer did not exist at all times in my life. Hand sanitizer is new, and we were strong. Like, all that being extra clean and all that stuff, your body don't got no chance to build up the defense to fight all this stuff. Because you're so clean and you using hand sanitizer and everybody want to be so pure and all that. Bro, what your body know how to fight then? As soon as you get a small little thing, you're dead.
Well, first of all, I didn't say anything about hand sanitizer. I said wash your hands.
Same difference. It's the same difference. I'm not saying don't wash your hands. I'm just saying how strict it is now. That's what I'm talking about.
Listen, I'm 30 years old and I was always taught to be clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Wash your hands after you eat, after you use the bathroom, after you touch something nasty, when you take out the trash. Wash your hands. Now, I don't understand that. That's simple.
I'm not saying it didn't always exist. I'm just saying that kids were raised that didn't necessarily do it, and they're stronger for it later.
Who told you that? Because
what do you mean? Oh my God! So you trying to tell me that it's not a scientific fact that, like, the more
you said that like that was true for all kids? No, because bacteria is very real. Stuff like staph or and other bacteria, heck, that you don't even know about. Matter of fact, bacteria that you can't even see with your naked eye can take over your whole entire body. It's happened to both mine.
I'm just talking about building up your immune system right now. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
That's not true for everybody. That's not true for everybody. What I'm saying is just like your reaction to certain drugs and vaccine stuff is different. That's not true for everybody. Because you don't wash your hands don't mean that you won't build up a strong immune system. That's not true.
I'm not even saying don't wash your hands. That's not what that was an example, but I'm talking about building your immune system. It didn't come from you keeping your immune system clean. That's what I'm talking about. You have to let stuff in so your body can build up the defense against it. I'm not saying all stuff. You understand what I'm saying, but you just want to be combative right now.
That is. I just said that is not true for everybody, which means it's true for some. But
the whole show has not been true for everybody.
But what I'm saying is, for something like a virus like COVID, this ain't the flu. This ain't a cold. This ain't that. So yeah, I think I would err on the side of caution where this ain't something I would want in my system, because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. You don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, that's just like if you have a STD. Okay, having crabs is not the same as getting herpes. No, like absolutely not. One is much worse than the other. COVID is much worse than a cold or a flu. It's not the same. It's not the same. But yes, everybody's body is different. That's why you have some people that can have it and not have any symptoms, because their immune system is stronger. It's better.
But you don't know that until unless you actually come in contact with it if you get it. Because what happens if you get it and your immune system ain't as strong as you thought it was? Yeah, then you have a problem.
What?
I said, what happens if you get it?
I heard what you said. I'm just okay. So I think you since you have personal attachment to this subject, like you're just extra out the window with your rebuttal. Like for real, you it has to be you because you have like personal relationship with this. Because I'm saying stuff that's scientifically proven, and you like, nope.
Did I?
Ain't nobody prove that.
Hold on. Did I? No. Again, you're not listening because I said that's only true for some. I said
right,
that.
but that's what the whole show has been, Lady J. The whole show has been a topic that's not true for everybody.
But your statement, pay attention to how you said what you said. Your statement was generalized, is what I'm saying. You didn't say something. You said you can't build up your immune system if you don't let stuff in. That's not true for everybody. So no, that's not what you said. The way you said it, that's not true. It's not a fact.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So when you say something, just pay attention to what you're saying, because some people, I understand what you're saying, but other people may take that as, you know what? Well, I was listening to Between the Lines, and Troche said that I need to let some stuff in, and that's how kids get up their immune system, is to let them go play in dirt and bacteria. And I was like, no, you can't put that out there. And I say something that's true for some, yeah, because some people's immune system is different, and that has everything to do with their diet, what they put in, what they allow their kids to eat, what they don't allow their kids to eat, vaccinations, all that kind of stuff plays a part in building up your immune system. Like just not being, like you said, well, how did you put it, pure all the time? That's not a factor when it comes to that's not the only factor when it comes to trying to build up your immune system. Because you can do that, but if you don't eat right, if you don't eat healthy, guess what? You're still probably going to be at risk. If you don't have enough certain vitamins in your body through the foods that you eat, or maybe through supplements, guess what? Your immune system is not going to be as strong as you think it's going to be.
I agree with you.
That's all I'm saying. So I agree with what you said. It's just the blanket statement.
Okay. All right. Put Ray on your side. Let's go. Ray on your side, even though it's a million people in these comments that's against everything that you arguing for. I'm gonna put the one that's in defense of you on the screen. Please put Ray's up there.
Ray. Well, the good thing about me is I don't care who's on my side or not. I'm not like society.
And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you got one. You got one.
I'm not a sheep person. I'll stand alone. I don't go with the majority. Just because society says this is okay, I don't do that.
Ray said there are exceptions to most things. However, the numbers say get the shot.
That's true.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
Put me in the game, coach. That's what
he's trying to get put on the show so he can say what he got to say.
Well, we can read your comment though. Put your comment on there.
Yeah, no, he said go back up. Danny said some stuff already. Shaquila said some stuff too, and Tiffany Rochelle. They've been talking.
Oh, she said the flu and COVID have the same system. Yes, they asked you, can you? Okay, if you can't taste, when you have the flu, you can't taste. You're congestion. You have a cough. You have a sore throat. All of those symptoms are the exact same symptoms that you have when you have the flu. Matter of fact, let's see, maybe 3 weeks ago, my daughter, she had a cough and stuff. We went to the doctor. She had the cold. She didn't have COVID. She got tested. She didn't have COVID. The symptoms that, if you look at the symptoms of COVID and the symptoms of a flu, like the first few, the main symptoms that most people have is like the lack of taste, and like they can't taste, they can't smell, especially if you congested. That usually when you have the flu or you have a cold, a cough, fever. All of that stuff is what you get when you have the flu, which is why it's so confusing, because you be thinking now, what irritates me the most is as soon as you hear somebody cough or as soon as somebody got a fever, you automatically go to, oh, they got COVID. What? A cold and the flu didn't just disappear when COVID came on the scene.
Hey, you blame that on your damn government. That's what I'm talking about. So you trying to tell me all those numbers in the beginning, some of them went the cold, some of them went the flu? Cut this out, man. Cut it out, man.
In this show, I said
Some of them was even gunshot wounds. He got shot in the heart, but he died from COVID. What? Are you trying to kill him? Oh my God.
During this show, I said that since the beginning of time, the healthcare system has been padding numbers. I know I said that. It's on tape. I said that. So quit focusing on this one thing I said and take into everything I said. Okay, because I said that already. I said, but aside from padding numbers, I said I'm looking at just the facts of the virus itself is what I'm talking about.
What facts? What facts? They're telling you what it is. You ain't going up in no laboratory and operate on a body. What do you mean? You didn't put nothing in a test tube and under a microscope? You didn't do none of that. They told you that.
Troche, look, Troche.
Bro, no, you're not gonna tell me I'm operating off facts when you did none of the tests yourself.
The facts of the okay, so answer me this. Then how do you know a cold is a cold? Do you consider those symptoms facts when you get
know nothing. I don't know nothing about medical. Period. I'm not in the medical profession. But what I'm saying is, like, since you want to talk about whistleblowers, there have been people that have made videos that saying this is inconsistent with what's been told to you.
God, thank you, Ray. So listen. My point is, why would I listen to the people who have not done the studies over people who have done no homework? The side of caution would be getting the shot. Why would I sit up here and listen to somebody giving their opinion on a podcast versus somebody who's been in the medical field forever? I ain't talking about the government. I said somebody in the medical field. That's just like people out here listening to Trump.
My opinion on nothing, though.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying I'm making a general statement. Because everybody out here are giving their opinions. What I'm saying is the facts still remain that COVID is a very real virus. It's a virus that you can catch, just like flu or COVID. The facts are you can get sick. The facts are you can possibly die. It can become fatal. The facts are that it can cause pneumonia because your lack of being able to like cough and breathe. If you sick, you get so weak. That's how fluid builds up in your lungs. That's why when you're sick in the hospital, they don't want you laying on your back all the time. They have you do this breathalyzer thing almost. I forget what they call it, but you breathe in and out of this tube to keep your lungs open so that fluid doesn't build up. Those are all facts when it comes to the virus, is what I'm saying. Forget all that other fluff and pad numbers and people who really got a cold. They said they had COVID. I ain't talking about that. I'm just talking about the facts, the basic facts about the actual virus itself and some of the things that they've saw that have worked, that they've tried through trial and error, wearing a mask, keeping your distance, keeping your hands clean, you know what I'm saying? Not gathering in large groups. All of these things have been put into place to try to help curb the numbers. That's what I'm saying.
So let me ask you this. Have you did your research and you've seen people say, oh, these are the things that help. But have you also seen the naysayer that in the medical profession agree with those same things, but still had differences of opinion?
Yes.
I'm just trying to see, is there something that's like looped by both of them?
Yeah. So what I did see was at first there were a lot of COVID is an upper respiratory infection on steroids. Yes, it is. It is a respiratory infection. What I saw was at first there were some healthcare professionals saying that it wasn't safe to wear a mask. You shouldn't wear a mask. And then that changed. Now everybody on one accord. Okay. Then they were talking about you should, keep your hands clean and keep your distance. Everybody was on point about that. Okay. Now there have definitely been a lot of back and forth in the medical field when it came to that virus. I mean, not the virus, but the vaccination. A lot of them didn't agree either about the ventilators, putting people on ventilators. They thought that made it worse. I don't know how true that is because then that goes a little bit deeper into the medical field than I've worked in the medical field. So I've seen a lot of things. But when it comes to you start getting to talk about ventilators and all that kind of stuff, yeah, I can't speak on that. But what I can say is if me and you just was to do a small study, like you said, like say on the NFL and the NBA, and I did a small study on the IPS schools here and that school, Vanguard Collegiate, and compared what they did throughout this pandemic thus far, and then compare the numbers, then the numbers show, which are factual show that, hey, if you do A, B, C, D, you could possibly have absolutely 0 COVID cases. Over here, they didn't do that. So guess what? They have a lot of COVID cases. That's a fact. That's what a scientific study is. You learned that in school. You start with a what they call it? You start with a hypothesis, and then you run a trial. You take down the data, and based on the data, which is factual based information, you decide whether or not your hypothesis was right or not.
You just skipped all the part where you add variables and stuff like that. But okay, yeah,
Nope.
Since you want to break down what a science experiment is, you what do you mean? What is variables for everything? How you gonna skip that part since you want to say what a science experiment is? Like we don't know what science experiments are. Come on, bro.
I just said that if you compare the two, just like with the IPS and Vanguard, both had both variables. Some were vaccinated, some were not. But guess what? Some were one did hybrid, the other one did absolutely no in school activity for the kids, but all the teachers were present teaching from the classroom. So there's still the variables in there. And when you combine mask wearing with washing your hands, like stuff for everybody versus versus those variables, and then on the other hand, it being optional, guess what? The one who followed the rules to a T, it didn't matter, everybody had to follow the exact same rules. Guess what? They won the scientific study because they had 0 cases. That's just a fact. It is what it is.
Okay. But yeah, appreciate y'all for tuning into another episode of Between the Lines, where life meets the lyrics. Make sure y'all check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure y'all go follow Ego Entertainment on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Net. I think that's right.
Hold on, say that one more time.
Wait, why you put up the thing for me?
I want to see if you can get it.
It's Ego Entertainment Net, right? On LinkedIn.
No.
And then follow what's Ego in Net?
Ego in Net. There you go.
Just do it, man. Just do it.
Do your stuff first, and I'll put it up.
Yeah, make sure y'all already know, man. Catch me right here every Wednesday, 5:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure y'all catch me on the Whole Lot of Dumb on Sundays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and tune in to the Fat Girl Chronicles on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, man. For real. And if you need a jingle or an intro to your show or anything like that, or a movie, a song written for a movie, check me out on itstroche.com. That's ITSTROCHE.com, man. Let's do it. Go ahead, Lady J.
Go ahead, Lady J. What? You want me to tell them how to follow us? It's on the screen for you?
I just said all that stuff, and you told me I was wrong. Man, look, man. Go follow JQLM Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JQLM Radio. And make sure you follow Ego Entertainment Network on LinkedIn, just like that. For sure. We'll holler at y'all next week. 2 fingers.